In Garin Kuka, hunger had never killed anyone, but memory had. Long before the truth came out, before the disappearances and the prayers whispered at midnight, the town first noticed the smoke. It arrived quietly, curling through the streets like a knowing spirit, entering homes before its owner was ever seen. By the time the people realized something was wrong, many had already eaten. And some tastes, once known, do not leave the body willingly. Garin Kuka was the kind of community where everyone knew everyone's footsteps. By sunset, women returned from the stream, children chased each other through red dust, and the air slowly filled with the familiar scent of roasted meat as suya sellers prepared for the night trade. Beef, ram, sometimes chicken. Nothing fancy, nothing strange. The people liked what they knew. That was why the arrival of Mallam Musa unsettled the rhythm, though no one could explain why at first. He came on a dry evening when the harmattan wind carried dust like whispered secrets. He pushed a small wheelbarrow with a charcoal grill mounted carefully on top. His clothes were clean but worn, the kind worn by travelers who stayed nowhere long enough to be questioned. His eyes were calm, too calm, and his smile never showed teeth. But before people noticed him, they noticed the smell. It drifted through Garin Kuka like a living thing, deep, rich, smoky, layered with spices the town had never known. Men paused mid-conversation, children stopped running, even goats raised their heads. The scent was suya, yes, but also not suya. It was heavier, fuller, almost sweet, and it stirred hunger in places deeper than the stomach. Mallam Musa set up his stand at the edge of the market square, not competing directly with anyone. His grill glowed softly as he laid out his meat, thick, coiled sausages skewered carefully, their casings shining as fat slowly kissed the fire. They were not flat slices like the others sold. These were sausages, dense, perfectly shaped, uniform in size. When the first customer asked what kind of meat it was, Mallam Musa bowed his head slightly. "Sausage suya," he said, "an old recipe from the far north, very rare." That was all. The man bought one skewer, then another. Then he called his friend. By the end of the night, Mallam Musa's stand was surrounded. Other suya sellers watched with quiet irritation as customers drifted away, drawn by that powerful aroma. No shouting, no drumming, just smoke and scent doing the work of a town crier. When Mallam Musa packed up, he left no scraps behind, not even bones for the dogs. He vanished into the dark streets as silently as he had come, and Garin Kuka slept that night, dreaming of sausages. Within a week, Garin Kuka had changed. Men who once swore loyalty to Baba Gidado's beef suya now stood in line at Mallam Musa's stall. Taxi drivers timed their routes to pass his corner. Even elders who claimed their teeth were too weak for meat found themselves chewing slowly, eyes closed, nodding in quiet pleasure. The sausage suya was different. It had a snap when bitten, followed by a tenderness that melted on the tongue. The spices were balanced, never overpowering, yet unforgettable. People said it warmed the body better than palm wine and lingered in the mouth long after the stick was empty. Soon people stopped asking questions. Mallam Musa never laughed loudly, never argued, never raised his voice. He worked alone, always arriving just before sunset and leaving before the first rooster crowed. He did not join conversations, did not attend mosque regularly, and never bought meat from the local slaughterhouse. When asked about his supplier, he said only, "My meat comes where people do not ask many questions." At first, this sounded like the wisdom of a trader guarding his secret, but small things began to trouble the careful-minded. Stray dogs refused to go near his stand. They would approach, sniff once, then whimper and retreat.
Vultures circled other suya joints, but never his. Children were warned not to linger too close, not because of danger, but because something about the place felt heavy. Then people started disappearing. A traveler who had boasted loudly about eating 3 sausage skewers was last seen following Mallam Musa after closing time. A beggar woman who slept near the market vanished, her mat left behind. When asked, Mallam Musa claimed he knew nothing. "People move on," he said calmly. "Life is movement." Baba Gidado, the oldest suya seller in Garin Kuka, watched closely. He had grilled meat for 40 years and knew the language of fire. He knew fat, knew smoke, knew smell. And what Mallam Musa cooked did not behave like beef or ram. The fat burned too clean. The aroma lingered too long. The bones, if there were any, were never seen.
Something was wrong. But hunger is louder than wisdom, and Garin Kuka continued to eat. Suspicion did not come like thunder. It came like a slow drumbeat. Baba Gidado noticed that Mallam Musa never sold leftovers. Every skewer was accounted for. No waste, no scraps, not even pepper stains on the ground. The man cleaned his stand with water mixed with ash, scrubbing until the earth looked untouched. One night, Baba Gidado followed him. Mallam Musa pushed his wheelbarrow beyond the last houses, past the neem trees, toward an abandoned mud structure once used as a colonial storage shed. He unlocked it with a key tied around his neck. Baba Gidado did not go closer. He did not need to. The smell from inside that building was not suya. It was raw, heavy, wrong. The old man ran. The next morning, Baba Gidado gathered the elders. He spoke carefully, choosing words that would not cause panic. Vigilantes were sent quietly to search the abandoned shed while Mallam Musa was away. What they found could not be spoken loudly. Burnt sausage casings, unfamiliar bones, clothing scraps hidden beneath sacks of charcoal. No blood, no fresh remains, just enough truth to break denial. When evening came, the town was ready. But Mallam Musa did not return. His stand remained empty. The air held no tempting smoke, only silence and shame. News traveled fast, even without shouting. People remembered who had eaten the most, who had praised the taste the loudest, who had joked about abandoning their old suya cellars forever. Guilt settled over Garin Kuka like dust after a stampede. Some vomited from fear alone. Some prayed all night. Some burned their clothes. The elders ordered a cleansing ritual. Fires were lit. Incense burned. The ground where Mallam Musa cooked was scraped and buried with ashes and salt. Children were warned with new stories. "Not every sausage is meat," said mothers. "Not every sweet smell is food," fathers added. Mallam Musa was never found. Some claimed they saw him walking into the forest without footprints. Others swore he boarded a night bus that never reached its destination. A few believed he was taken by spirits angered by his crimes. Only one thing was certain: sausage suya disappeared from Garin Kuka forever. Years passed. New suya sellers came. Beef returned. Ram returned. Life slowly found its rhythm again. But Garin Kuka never forgot. Whenever a stranger arrived with food that smelled too perfect, elders would shake their heads. Whenever profit came too quickly, mothers reminded their sons of Mallam Musa. The story became a warning, passed from mouth to ear, never written, never forgotten. Hunger without wisdom eats poison. Greed opens the door to monsters, and not every sausage comes from an animal. Till today, when the harmattan wind carries a strange aroma at night, old men pull their caps low and whisper, "Check the fire, check the hands, check the source." Because Garin Kuka learned the hard way. Some evils do not announce themselves with blood, but with sweet smoke and perfect spice.